Hi, Kim here from Keep Fit with Kim. Today's workout is a gentle Pilates mat workout with no equipment. Let's get down on the mat and get started. The knee fold exercise is one of the gentlest exercises for the abdominals and really good for a gentle core engagement. Trying to keep the spine in neutral, and all we're going to do is bring the leg up into tabletop and back down again. Really being aware what's going on with your back, so maybe fingertips underneath, maybe hands on the pelvis, breathing out as you take the leg down, because that's the hardest part. You're going to breathe in as you lift up, out on the harder part of the exercise, in through the nose and out through the mouth. More each side. Make sure for this leg slide arm float exercise that you've got enough room above you and behind and beneath you to reach out in full. Come back to neutral spine, feet and knees hip width apart, so feet together, toes out, heels out, arms come up, drop the shoulders into the mat, and as you slide the right leg away, you're going to take the right hand down alongside it and take the left arm above the head. Try and keep the arms straight. Doesn't matter if you can't touch the mat. You're going to breathe out as you slide away, trying to keep the pelvis as stable as possible. Trying to keep the spine in neutral. Don't worry if you can't straighten the leg. Don't worry if your hand will only come to here. You're just trying to get the best mobility in your shoulders that you can. So arms stay straight. Palms facing will give you the best mobility within the shoulder. If you turn the arm in, there'll be a little bit of impingement just based on the way that the shoulder joint is formed. So we're really concentrating on here on keeping that spine in neutral, trying to keep the pelvis relatively still, getting a little bit of stretch through the hips, stretch through the shoulders, breathing in as you come up, breathing out as you go the other way. This is a slightly harder version of the windscreen wiper exercise. If you find it too much, please do the easier option shown here. What you're going to do, keeping the spine in neutral, you're going to bring the legs up one at a time into tabletop, and then you keeping the knees together, so take it over to the side and to the centre. Take it over to the side and the centre. So really be aware here of what is going on. Is that comfortable on your back? This is quite extreme. The shoulders stay down, working through the sides of the tummy and getting some mobility in the middle spine. Breathing out as you go down, in as you come back up, out as you go down, in as you come back up, out as you go down, in as you come back up. Well done. Breathing out. And in. Remember remember, you stop when you've had enough. You might find this is far too intense for you, in which case bring the legs down one at a time and go back to your gentler version. I like to finish this off by just doing a couple of the easier version, just to let the body relax. What I'm going to do is stretch through the backs of the legs. So it's a very gentle movement. I'm going to get you to bring the knees in one at a time. In this exercise I tend to roll my lower back into the mat, but neutral or imprinted is fine. Take the hands to the sides of the legs. What we're going to do is straighten and bend, alternating legs, feeling the stretch in the back of the hamstring, warming up through the back of the legs. If you wish to, you can extend that by flexing the foot. You're going to feel that maybe in the calf and a lot more intensely in the back of the knee if you're tight. But your choice here, so you can slow it down and add the foot flex, or you can stay with a lift and release. So we're not holding on to the back of the legs, the back of the hamstrings. You're either hanging onto the side slightly for support, or I quite like to just push my legs into my hands. Just to stop the knees coming too close. What I'm interested in here is getting that stretch through the back of the knee, which is why flexing the foot extends that, and so it can feel good if you're not really, really tight. Breathing out, breathing in, out through the mouth, in through the nose. Taking the feet down to the mat, one at a time. The concentration is on the leg that we're stretching. You're going to take both legs up in the air, ideally straight, but if your legs are there, bend them a little bit, enough that the weight is over your body, that you control that. I like to imprint my spine for this, and all we're going to do is bring one leg in and stretch so that you feel the stretch. If I show you this side, down the back of the leg, as you let the other leg go away. So the easiest version is head down, just pulling it in slightly. You might be here. Try not to pull on the back of the hamstring because that's what we're stretching. So if you can reach, you're going to be here. If not, you're going to be either side of the leg. This is your easiest version. So if you can, start making that a little bit bigger and tuck the chin to the chest and lift the head. So the harder version is taking the leg all the way down. And again, neutral spine, be aware that your spine isn't coming off the mat. And the important bit is this leg. We're not bending the leg in to hug it. You're trying to feel the stretch in the back of the leg. I would rather you took it to here and just got that gentle stretch there, if that's what you need to do for your body. Again, although I've lost a lot of the mobility in my hips over the last year, I have always been quite mobile in this area. When you've had enough, you're going to hug your knees in and rest. Remember, it doesn't matter if you can't do all of the repetitions. You're going to do one or two properly rather than do lots of them and your form go. It's much more beneficial to do one or two properly and rest and come back in a couple of days and try this or another similar workout. This exercise is a slow bridge. So I want you to take your feet at hip width apart. So if you're not sure, feet together, toes out, heels out. Try and keep the knees in line. If you know your knees drop in, stick a block or a ball between your knees. And what I want you to do is think about starting by with a pelvic tilt. You're going to push the lower back into the mat using the lower abdominals and let the body come up. Think of one string of pearls at a time up from the ground. Watch your knees aren't dropping out either. Coming up and then rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Now, I find because of my posture, I find this one really hard. You need to keep your feet fairly close to the body for this, and you should be feeling it in your buttocks, not in your hamstrings. Squeeze the butt, tilt the pelvis, coming up one vertebrae at a time, up. Think of string of pearls, one vertebrae at a time, coming down. Imprint, release back to neutral and relax. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, tilt the pelvis, push the lower back into the mat, slowly squeeze the buttocks, lift up like a string of pearls, up towards the top and coming back down. Remember to keep breathing during this one. Breathing out on effort will engage the lower abdominals. Breathe out as you start to roll up, and then go with what feels natural. I tend to breathe out as I lift. Breathe in at the top, breathe out as I come down, and breathe in to relax. So it's a 4-breath movement. Roll back. I'd like you to plant your feet on the floor, feet and knees hip width apart, so a nice sort of fixed width gap between the knees. And you're going to keep the feet on the mat. You may need to hold your knees, and all I want you to do is make a C curve with your low back. So you're going to open up the lower back as you roll gently back downwards and back up. So the gentlest version is hanging onto your knees. If you're stronger, you can take the arms away and come back up. It does depend how strong your abdominals are. If your feet start to come away from the mat, you've gone too far. Another option is you can hold the side of your legs or put a fitness band or a dressing gown belt underneath your legs to hang on to. Feeling this in your abdominals. So, making it a bit harder, we can add an arm float. Whew. Alternating. Or you can add both. I'm not going to do that today. Having had a big gap from exercising over the last year, I'm having to stay with the gentler versions. And even the arm float is a little bit of a struggle for me. Couple more if you can. I'm going to take it back to the easier version and just get that opening up through my lower back, which feels really lovely. And rest. So for our windscreen wipers, or windshield wipers, whatever you want to call them, we're going to start with the legs nice and wide. Now, 2 options for this one, really depending on whether you have tension in your hips or your low back. So, if you want to loosen your hips, you're going to keep your hands on your pelvis and just take the knees a little way side to side. Now for me, I'm working for the tension in my hips. I don't want to be putting undue pressure on my low back. So anyone with osteoporosis, or like me with 2 prolapsed discs, I'm having to be a little bit extra careful about my rotation movements. So I'm staying with just the hips for most of it. I will show you one. I can probably get away with it without too much problem. If you're wanting to work your back, you're going to take the knees all the way over. I'm cheating slightly here and lifting up a little more than I would normally. Normally you would just let that rotate, taking the knees towards the floor and feel that rotation through your spine. I've actually lifted my shoulder off the ground just to take the pressure off my back. You should be keeping your shoulders down if you really want to be working on releasing tension in your lower back. You need to be aware of how this feels for you and work with what's right for your body. Again, I used to love this one before my injury. I loved the fact that it just loosened my lower back when I was feeling stiff. Now I still enjoy it a bit because it works through my hips, but I'm missing this exercise. Go with what you need, what works for your body and works with any injuries or limitations that you have. Once more each side. Well done. And release. Thank you for joining me in today's workout. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you want to be notified, ring the bell.